touch a little bit more on last night's fight between Devontae Tank Davis and Isak Cruz. I want to dig a little bit more into what I saw from both of these dudes. Um, Rather interesting night, man. Rather interesting fight, man. I told people that it was just a cherry going wrong, and it almost was. It almost was. I know almost isn't good enough, but it almost was. You can look at it in more than one way. You can look at it as, Isak Cruz was a cherry pick, and you can also look at it as if this was a step up for Tank at the same time, an unintentional step up because the dude went there and gave him serious problems. He gave him some issues. He reduced Tank to looking like a scared, almost like a bewildered amateur almost in there, man, almost. But then at the same time, Tank also showed IQ because if he would have he did a job, like he was holding Isak Cruz, kind of like smothering a lot of his he dampened a lot of his flurries, man. Put it like that. He held him. He was holding when Isak would come in. He would hold him when kind of like to hamper a lot of the shit that Isak Cruz normally does. So got to give Tank credit for that because I think if he didn't do that, bro, I think it's a strong possibility Isak Cruz probably would have fucking ended up knocking him out, man. It looked like it because I watched it like 2 times, and I was like, okay, let me see what's going wrong in this fight for Tank. And it looks like as well, Tank was having problems with that pressure, man. It was the pressure from Isak Cruz, and it was the power. It was the power. And before the fight, there was people that was saying Isak Cruz doesn't have like one punch knockout power. I mean, like I said, even if it's not, it's a cumulative power where he's feeling them punches, man. But he was throwing his whole body into Tank's body, bro. All his energy was dumped into his arm. The way he was just digging, like he was just trying to rip all in Tank body. Tank was feeling those punches, bro. I didn't see Isak Cruz hurt at all in this fight, man. And if he was hurt, man, he has a good poker face, but I ain't seen him hurt. But I've definitely seen Tank hurt numerous times in this fight, maybe about 3 times. And when he fell and slipped, he did that funny little shit. He hopped off his leg. That shit was hilarious, man. I ain't never seen no shit like that. But you got to be honest, guys. It looked like you can even argue the fact that Isak Cruz won that fight. A lot of people are saying he won. Most people are leaning more towards 7-5. Some people are saying it was a draw. You can go either way, man, because he did really good considering who he was supposedly been fighting in that ring. Somebody's known for his super high knockout ratio. Isak Cruz he was aggressive, but he was very patient, man, more than usual, because he knew he can't just run in there and bull rush Tank like immediately. He had to put some kind of strategy to it, and that's what he did. Look at him. And I'm gonna be the one to eat crow. I said initially that in my first prediction, I was like, man, Isak Cruz, man, he's not gonna show. He doesn't really have that much defense or skill, and he surprised the shit out of me, man. You know what I'm starting to think about a lot of these underdogs? I think a lot of the times they do have defense, or they show it they fight different fighters certain ways. They know who they can go in there and bull rush and who they can't bull rush. But he was definitely bull rushing Tank, putting pressure on him, but it was controlled aggression. It wasn't reckless aggression. It was a few times though. He got a little careless and he'd swing and miss. And I'm like, damn, he about to get knocked out, because the way he was missing, and then he would turn around like Tank would be right behind him, But then he caught on to that, and it looked like he made a little bit of minor adjustments to not allow that to happen. But it did happen a few times in that fight, but not as much as it usually happened in a lot of his other fights. And also, Isaac Cruz he wasn't jabbing much in this fight either. He doesn't really jab a whole bunch in a lot of his fights either anyway, but this fight, he wasn't really jabbing at all much because he figured, I think, if he would have jabbed, that would have left, it would have created openings for Tank to counter him, probably with some uppers and some lefts. But Isaac Cruz, I think he did good defensively in this fight. A lot of those shots, Tank was catching him, trying to catch him with the uppercut. Isak was blocking a lot of them, and he was rolling with a lot of them. So it's like by the time Tank came up with the uppercut, Isak Cruz, he was already rolling his head away from the, to lessen some of the impact, and then his glove also will catch some of the shot. That's why we tell people to keep your hands up, man, at all times, and there's a reason for that shit. Tank did show that he can box, and I told people he knew how to box. He can box. At the same time, most people was expecting him to still do much better than he did, man. He has more experience, more fights than Isak. He should have known. They say this is one of the shortest fighters Tank has ever fought, so this could have gave him problems. Maybe, maybe not. But at the same time, that whole injured hand shit, I'm not sure if I really buy that. I'm not sure if I really buy that too much, man. It's possible, but I'm not sure if I buy that, bro. I'm not. And I'm thinking, man, like, Isaac Cruz gave Tank this much trouble. I think Rolly, man, I'm telling you, I just felt a little odd about the Rolly thing. That whole shit didn't sit well with me. And I think Rolly what also gave Tank issues. Rolly's a pressure fighter. He's much more sloppier than Isaac Cruz. But I definitely seen Rolly would have probably caused some more issues as well for Tank. But I think Rolly would have got hit more. But then Rolly got that weird ass defense where he always dipping low. So I think Rolly, Romero, and Isaac Cruz would have both gave Tank problems. I think I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Rolly would have gave him more issues than Isaac Cruz did, but I think both of them would have caused definitely some issues, and I think Rolly would have survived that fight too. So Isaac Cruz is the second guy that survived. Is the only him and I don't remember the other guy. That's another Mexican dude actually. I don't remember his name. The only two dudes to go the entire distance with Tank, man. When you sum it up, Tank was not dominated. He was not the dominator in this fight. Isaac Cruz was putting on. He controlled most of that fight, man. Tank was letting Isaac control him, man. He didn't really know what to do at certain. It looked like he was a little confused in certain parts of this fight, man. And I think you look over at their corner, they knew. Like, damn, bro, like, what's going on? Because most of the fight, Tank wasn't really doing much, man. He was getting some shots in towards the end, but for the majority of the fight, Tank wasn't really putting the pain on like you normally see. He wasn't doing that. The way he was doing Barrios, and that's got to tell you something, man. It's telling you. Look at how he was walking down Barrios, bro. And Barrios supposed to be this big puncher. So Isaac Cruz got to have some fucking dynamite in them hands, bro. Because Tank was not putting the walks down on this man at all. Not even, I didn't see, I think Isaac backed up maybe one time, maybe twice in this whole fight. Tank was not putting that pressure you seen him put on Barrios, the pressure you saw him put on Leo Santa Cruz. He was not doing that with Isaac Cruz. It was a reason why, and you know what that reason was. But good fight, good scrap. Was Tank exposed? I won't go as far as to say he was exposed, but it definitely shows that he's beatable, and it shows that he doesn't know how to. He can't really deal with pressure as much, man. Some fighters can handle pressure more than others. Like Errol Spence, I'll give it to Errol. He knows how to handle pressure. He did real good against Sean Porter. Even Bud, and Bud did good against Porter. And those Porter's a little pit bull in damn self. But the problem is, I don't think Porter, had the power to really shake up Bud or shake up Errol. But as far as like aggressive fighters, that was good for Errol Spence. He's very good at controlling, at least making a good showing of himself against aggressive fighters, and so is Terrence Crawford. But Tank probably needed this fight because maybe he'll take from this, his experience. He'll take from this the pressure. I don't think anybody ever put this much pressure on Tank Davis in a fight, man. And he probably gonna take from it and learn from it, and then, he got to gain that experience and put it in his bag. You can look at it that way too. But at the same time, he looked very lackluster. With all that I just said, he still looked very lackluster, just like I think Devin Haney did. But Devin Haney, I think he pulled away much more. The decision was much more decisive for Devin Haney than it was for Tank, though. Interesting to see, these dudes in their next fight, man. But what I got and gathered from this is all you need to do is put pressure on a lot of these dudes, and then they're gonna look rather fucking average, man. And I think this is why I've been watching Shakur Stevenson for a long time, and this is why I think that kid is special, because I've seen the pressure put on him. I've seen boxers fight him. The only thing with Shakur, we ain't really seen his chin tested yet, and that's the only question mark. But everything else, I think he's grown into his power, and I think he's a dog. And he's a very good boxer, excellent defense. And I think he beats all of these dudes, man. Besides maybe a Lomachenko. Loma might be the best one to give him a good run for his money. All the rest of these dudes at 130, 135, I think Shakur smokes them, man. It's just my personal opinion. But anyway, let me know what y'all thought, man. I had to dig a little bit more into that fight to show you guys, tell you guys what I saw and what I thought, man. So this is Rebel Life Boxing, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one. And I'm off this.